Life is made up of so many moments, big and small.
Hey, Dad, it's your turn.
Sometimes the best memories are just time well spent together. Only time will tell what our most cherished moments will be. Montana Moments. Celebrate what matters.
Well, welcome to episode 93 of According to Flint, the podcast, which means we went through 92 previous episodes before we decided that we could have the one and only Marco Rizzo on the. It's a good number, Marco. It's a good number, 93.
It's a great number. I like it. I love 93.
I do got to tell you, and I've told other guys this. I think I told John Crimber this. There's a lot of podcasts out there and people pick cowboys. I don't pick a lot of young rodeo guys or bull rider guys because I like to go deeper into a story and have visits. But I said, we got to have Marco on because we have an interesting story. I like your story. I like how far back we go. But I do notice, I should say, second round, the second pick of the New York Mavericks, correct? Sporting the team gear already.
Yes, sir. For sure. You know, they gave me an opportunity, so I like it. So I gotta represent the team.
They got good gear, man.
Sir?
They got good gear.
Yeah. The shirts are super comfy.
Your GM is Chris Pantani. He will get you the best stuff. The Cooper Tire stuff was always good. Your logos and stuff, they're first class, man.
Yes, sir. These shirts, dude, I put this shirt on and I was like, this is probably the nicest shirt I've ever owned. Like, I haven't taken it off. I'm ready to get some more in the mail.
Yeah, you've had it on the whole time. Just wear it the whole time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first things first. In Billings, right here where I am. By the way, I'm in Billings, a city you now do not like because it's bad luck.
I got some bad luck there.
But here in Billings, you get stepped on. You broke your leg? Did your leg break when the bull stepped on you, when he spun you around? I know I'm getting gruesome here, but how did it actually happen? And I was there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It happened so fast that I don't even know. I know my spur got caught in the flank, and he kind of cracked me like a whip almost. And I don't know if he stepped on me or if his leg just the force of him spinning me around broke my leg. But I just remember he was going that way and I was kind of going this way, and my leg, I just remember feeling something kind of pop. And then when I landed, when I hit the ground, I looked down and my foot's completely sideways, and I was like, that's not good. I had no idea what the heck just happened. It happened so fast.
It's the old, a foot is not supposed to be pointed that direction, right?
Yes, sir. I looked down and I was like, hopefully that's just my boot, but my boot's still on my foot. So I think my foot's not where it's supposed to be right now. Yeah. And sure enough, it was all snapped in half.
You were having such a good year. You were kind of making a run towards the world finals. This question gets asked a lot, but I don't remember ever asking it, but did it take you a while? I went down when they were taking you to the ambulance and you were in really good spirits, which you seem to be in good spirits a lot. But did it take you a while for it to register? My season just ended. How long was it? An hour later, right away when you saw it? What was the process there?
I was actually, I don't know, the whole ambulance ride, I kind of knew my season was over, but I didn't want to tell myself that. And I got to the hospital and they told me yeah, you're not going to be able to walk for a while, and you're going to have to do we're going to have to do surgery on you and stuff. So it kind of started to sink in an hour or two later, right before surgery. because the only thing I was really worried about was like that was my first time ever being hurt and being away from parents, like being hurt and not having a mom at the hospital or something.
Mm.
So I was just thinking that first I was just thinking like, am I going to be okay? And then when everything settled in and I knew I was going to be okay, that's when I started worrying about, am I going to make the PBR World Finals? When am I going to come back? So it sunk in like right before surgery when they started having talks about what happened to my leg and the procedure. So it did take a while, but once I did realize like, okay, my leg's broke and I'm going to miss out on the World Finals, I kind of just, you know, shrugged it off. There wasn't much I could do anymore at that point except just have surgery and then let it heal.
You bring up a good point that I didn't even think about. You're 18 years old, a couple of thousand miles from home. I put myself in that position. If I'm 18, broken leg, my mom and dad aren't around. I think we forget how young you guys are. I never even thought of that. No matter how much we walk up and talk to you or Jen Ponce, who is the rider liaison, that's a little stressful, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Like I know Clay got hurt earlier this year, and me and Clay are really good buddies. And I just remember his mom calling me and her freaking out. So at the moment, I was just thinking, like, I wonder if my mom's freaking out because I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Like I've always been good at staying calm and stuff, but I was just worried about like the hospital questions because I don't know if I'm allergic to penicillin. Like, and they were asking me a bunch of hospital questions, and I was like, I could really use my mom right now because she usually, last time I got hurt, I was like 15, and she was the one filling out all this paperwork and stuff and getting asked all these questions, and now here I am, like, well, what do I do? But the hospital treated me super good, and my mom kind of stayed calm too, so it all worked out good.
I think it is good. I'll speak on kind of brag on on PBR a little bit. Where if you would have been out rodeoing, you're independent, you get to the hospital by yourself. We're right there. I checked in to make sure everything was okay at the hospital. We have the rider liaison, Jen Ponce there. You're never lucky to get hurt, but I don't know. That dawned on me as you talked too, that you actually are there on behalf of an organization. You're going to be okay. Like, we're going to make sure you're okay in the hospital. And I hope your parents understand that that's how we feel.
Yes, sir. I felt super comfortable. Like everybody helped me out. Like as soon as they noticed I was hurt, everybody like just I don't know, everybody took care of me. It felt like a family almost. Jen rode with me to the hospital, and she kind of kept my mind distracted from the point that like from the fact that my leg was snapped in half. And everybody treated me super good. And like you said, if I was on the road at any other rodeo, I don't think that would have happened. Last time I got hurt, I just remember my dad going, "All right, sit in the car. We're driving back home." So I had to drive back home like 4 hours and then go to the hospital. But the PBR was it was all new to me. It was like, dang, this is nice. Like I know I'm hurt right now, but this is nice. Everybody's just hopping on board real fast and everybody's helping me out. So it was good. That played a big role in me being at the hospital, was just the comfort everybody brought me and the help.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know we're doing something right. Hey, you brought up your buddy Clay Guyton.
Yes, sir.
He was selected, of course, as well. John Crimber was a first round selection. Who would have guessed that John Crimber was selected by his dad first in the draft? Who would have known? But
yes, sir. That was
big shocker, right? Big shocker.
yeah. Left me in awe.
Talk about
It was
that's a cool relationship with you, John Crimber, Clay Guyton. You're like this little Three Stooges, bunch of 18-year-old kids running around on the playground. You guys now you're all three going to be on separate teams, which is really cool. Talk about that dynamic and how you guys get along.
We've always got along. Like I remember, I think the summer we all got really close was the summer we were like 15 maybe. and John had just won every junior rodeo during that summer you could possibly win. Like he won YBR nationals, the junior NFR, everything. And it was always Clay was in second, or I like YBR. We all kind of fought for who was going to win the world title, and of course John came out on top. But it was like me and Clay were like, dude, we can't get rid of this guy, so we're going to hop on his team, you know. And I spent a lot of time with John before that, though, like traveling and stuff, and around my area in South Georgia, I didn't have a lot of rodeos, and Clay's family put on a lot of junior rodeos. So, like every 2 weeks, twice a month, just about, I was going up to North Carolina to Clay's to go get on junior bulls, and me and Clay got real close. And then that summer, me and John and Clay both, we just kind of clicked. You know, we all figured out that we all rode pretty good, and we were all competing with each other. Like everywhere we went, it was always us three, and so we just clicked. You know, like our mentalities were kind of the same, and I don't know, they were just cool people to be around. Like other than bull riding, everything else we did, we all had fun, and we it was more like brothers. You know, we never really looked at bull riding as competing. I mean, we do. We want to kick each other's butt, but I don't know. We all just clicked together. It was like a friendship that just spawned into my life. Like I had no idea where they came from. I was just like, yeah, these are my two friends.
Yeah, that's I can relate a little bit. You know, I think, you know, you guys were bull riders, but all sports. That's why I've always pushed anything extracurricular, whether it's bull riding, whether it's basketball or baseball. The best friends I had were from out of town. You know, the ones you hooked up with later, so yeah, those are the best friends you'll ever have. They're your friends forever now. You know, they're in.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, like I can't get rid of them. Like there's days where I get like pissed off at John or pissed off at Clay, and then like 10 minutes later, it's like, well, you're the only friend I have, and you're pretty cool, so I guess I won't get rid of you. Like,
Okay.
I can't get rid of them now.
Okay. Okay. Wait, you brought this up. You get pissed off at John and you can't get rid of him. All right. Clay's pretty quiet. I don't think people know Clay as well. And I really like Clay, but John Crimber, what is it? Give me something that John Crimber does that makes you just shake your head and go, I can't get rid of you, but I wish I could. Never mind. I know you're great friends. Tell me an annoying thing about John Crimber.
His math is horrible. His math is me. There was a funny story. Me, Clay, and me. We're first time in Denver, so we're like, me, Clay, and John are like, let's go explore Denver, and we find a bowling alley. So we walk into this bowling alley, and Clay's really smart, and we just let Clay do the talking sometimes. So they were like, I think it was like 30 minutes worth of bowling is this much, and John, with the straight face, looks at the bowling clerk or whatever, the lady at the cashier, and goes, can you make it 35 minutes? I like even numbers. And I just kind of turned around at John, and me and Clay looked at each other, and I was like, say that one more time, John. He was like, can I get 35 minutes? Because I like even numbers. And I just sat there and I was like, I don't know if he's being for real, or I don't know if he's just that slow sometimes, you know? And I don't know if he's actually for real, but I'm just like, why do I hang out with this guy? You know, he's just slow sometimes.
Would you say, see, I see you as a big personality. I see John as a big personality. Hey, how y'all doing? Good to see you. You know, John's always this. You're kind of like that. Is Clay the one that hangs down back behind you and kind of giggles at everything, or does he talk more than I think he does?
Clay talks a lot more than people think he does. Like around people, he's a little shy, but around us, there's sometimes where you're like, Clay, man, like quit yapping a little bit. Like, but he's just comfortable around us. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like some people look at John and they're like, man, that's an amazing bull rider, like a great guy. I'm like, yeah, but he can't do math. And then some guys are like, man, Clay's such a shy kid and he's just this and that. And I'm like, no, you've just never spent a day with Clay to break him in. He talks a lot. He loves talking about his junior bulls. He will show us videos all because he buys junior bulls and a bunch of bulls. He's got some pretty good bulls at his house. You'll be talking about a movie, and out of nowhere, Clay's like stuffing his phone in your face, and he's like, "Hey, look at this bull I bought," and you're just like, "Okay, Clay."
Yeah, that.
But I like him.
That would get me. The old, hey, look at this bull thing, or on the phone, like, I don't want to see any of your videos on your phone. Okay.
Yeah. And Clay's also very big in making sure that we know he rode steers really good. Clay was a really, really good steer rider. Like, there's no, like, back in the day, if you seen Clay at a steer riding and you were in the steer riding, like, you're going to win second. And his biggest accomplishment, it's like his biggest accomplishment in his life are like going 90 on steers. And every month, he sends us videos of him like throwbacks. He's like, "Hey guys, look at me going 92 on this steer." And I'm just like, "Okay, Clay, you were good at riding steers. We weren't. It took us a while to learn. Thank you."
Live in the now. Live in the now, man. You got to live in the now.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to talk about how far back we go. I talk about you that you're the only bull rider ever on the UTB tour that also has a Cooper Tire fan of the night buckle, and you have two Cooper Tire. So
that's it. One sitting right up there right now.
Okay.
I'll make sure I put it up there so people make sure. Like, I make sure people know that I'm the only one that has a PBR buckle from riding and a Cooper Tires fan of the night buckle.
Okay, the first one you were really young. The second one you were like 14 in Florida during COVID when we went and did the Florida one. But you got one earlier than that when you were really small. What? And what was the story there? What'd you do? Because I can't remember them all.
I don't remember really well because I was so young. I bet I was like 6 or 7. I don't know, but it was in Hollywood, Florida. And I think I just danced all night and was like yelling at your name and just having a great time at a PBR. And I ended up winning the buckle.
That Hollywood, Florida, I remember that. It was at the end of the season at like a Hard Rock and there was like 300 people there. Remember, it was in a weird arena and the crowd was really, really small. So see, that one, you didn't compete against that many people. It wasn't that hard.
Yeah. And then, I do remember that arena not being very full.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good crowd.
Yeah, I remember that. And then Florida, it was whatever small town in Florida we were at, and we were doing Michael Jackson. You were dancing like Michael Jackson. And this was 4 years ago, right? 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was
just about. I wanted to win. Okay, the story behind that one was I wanted to win the boots. They were the Ariat boots that they give out or whatever. I don't know what they were doing. And I was like, I really need some new riding boots. So my buddy Hagen was sitting with me and he was like, "Stand up and dance." So I just kind of I seen the camera was coming, from like the side and it was going to get us. So I freaking started dancing and it kind of stopped on me. Then it kept going. And I was like, "Come on, man." And then I don't know how me and you started dancing. We kind of had a little dance battle there.
I think so. Hagen, is he a bull rider too? Your friend that was
yes,
with
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. He is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, you were going crazy for the boots and I saw you. So I came back to you and you were dancing with me and doing some Michael Jackson. And then you whoop out Michael Jackson. That's winner, chicken dinner all day long. If you do Michael Jackson. So that was
yes, sir. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, man. I just once they started playing I think it was like Billie Jean or something. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my moment to shine."
That's the one. That's the one.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. So I remember talking to you then, and I thought I didn't know your background, where you were from, and I wasn't sure if you weren't with. I thought you were with some of the Brazilian riders. I said this little kid is from Brazil. He says he rides bulls. Your family's from Brazil. Give me your background, your heritage, and I've talked to your dad, I believe, and he's from Brazil. Fill us in on that.
My parents. So I'm kind of same situation as John. My parents are Brazilian, and then they came here in I think 2003 maybe, and then they had me in 2005. So my parents come from Brazil in early 2000s, and they had me here. So I was born and raised in America, never lived in Brazil or anything. Like a lot of people think I was born in Brazil and raised in Brazil, but no, I like to say I'm straight up American. But yeah, it's pretty neat, you know. It's pretty neat. I like it because I learned how to speak Portuguese, and so now it's good in the locker room. You know, I speak to a bunch of Brazilians and kind of catch people off guard when they're talking smack in Portuguese. I'm like, hey, I know what you're saying.
Well, yeah, because you turned up. Teams started, and you turned up. Were you with the Missouri team? Missouri, kind of as
Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. That's right. You were kind of working as an interpreter with some of those guys, weren't you? A little bit. That's the impression I got, anyway.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I helped Kansas City that first team series with the Portuguese. You know, they didn't really have anybody on the team that spoke English and Portuguese, so I hopped in to help a little bit because I was hurt at the time. I had just got off a shoulder injury, and they kind of told me to tag along with them. So throughout that whole season, I just kind of was a interpreter. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Is there not that it matters, but do you identify with personalities or riding styles and stuff, having grown up in a household where your parents are Brazilian? Do you identify with certain riders or different riding styles, Brazilian over the American styles, better friends with either one? I mean, I see it in John Crimber too. I think there's a real advantage culturally to have both influences. Do you see any advantage over one, from one over the other?
I think the biggest advantage is getting best of both worlds. Like I was raised here, so I grew up watching I grew up watching Justin McBride and Ross Coleman, and then I was like being Brazilian. I was a big fan of Silvano and Guilherme and Adriano, and then getting to speak English and Portuguese when I got around these guys, I kind of could learn from both sides, you know. So I kind of mixed it all in, and it was an advantage because a lot of guys don't get to learn from Brazilians just because of the language barrier, really.
Mhm.
But I asked a lot of Brazilians when I got to the UTB, you know, how they rode this bull and how they do this, and then I moved to the other side of the locker room and ask a bunch, like you know, when Cody Lostro, my coach now, I looked up to him a lot, so I could get to talk to both worlds and really adapt to both cultures.
Um, I I think it's a great advantage. We always hope that the Brazilian riders will learn English so that the American fans can really learn their personality and become fans of them. I always thought, now that he's gotten older and I've become better friends with Silvano, I always have wished that more people could get to know Silvano because I think he's a great dude. And I don't think enough people know that. They're getting to know Jose because he learned English so fast and some other guys. But it really would, you get to show your personality to the Brazilian fans and to the American fan, and that's a big advantage. But a guy like Silvano, I don't think people know him. He's an interesting cat. He's kind of funny, actually, isn't he?
Yes, sir. He's a great guy. He is. Like, I've learned a lot from Silvano, and I got to be kind of like real close to him a little bit at some events because he'd helped me a lot, and I got to talking to him, and we kind of became friends with each other. And he is a funny guy. Like, he's not what I thought he'd be, you know. And getting to understand like some of his jokes and stuff, I was like, I thought he was a complete different guy, you know, but he's just like, I saw him as a 3-time world champ, serious dude. And then when I got to like talking to him and stuff, and especially in Portuguese, it was like, wow, this guy is just a regular guy that's very, very funny.
I'll, I'll be straight with you. There was a long time that I thought he was kind of an asshole. and but then I got to know his wife and his kids, and I'm like, he must be a good guy because they're really cool. So that's proof right there that he was okay.
Yes, sir, for sure.
You mentioned your new coach, Cody Lostro. I have called Cody Lostro in the past maybe one of our most underrated world champion bull riders of all time, as far as the credit he gets or whatever. You have a good coach there. What have so far, if you've been in touch with him, first of all, he coaches the physical part of it. He's very much into the mental, the mental game. He could make you, he could make you take some steps and be a lot better, that guy.
For sure. I grew up watching him, and I think I always thought like he was really good. And like you said, I do agree with him being one of our underrated world champs. I mean, his form when he was on top of a bull, like he was super calm and just rode really good. You know how a guy should ride. I always thought, and his I think he keeps it so simple. Like the little bit I've talked to him about bull riding, he keeps it so simple. And sometimes I get in the point, like talking to him this year was kind of good for me because, my rookie year and I want to do so many things. I'm eager to learn, and sometimes I get so ahead of myself and I just start making it this one big complicated situation. And then you talk to Cody, and it's to him it's just everything's so simple. Everything just makes sense when you talk to him, and that's what I like. Like bull riding, he doesn't make bull riding hard, and sometimes I feel like I make it a lot harder than what it should be. So I feel like he's going to help me out a lot in the mental part of it and physical, just because of how well he rode and how much he knows.
It just makes me think when you talk about this this is the third season of the team stuff. And when it came out, I tipped my head a little and wasn't really sure. And now I've seen just you talking, you got John Crimber, Clay Guyton, you look down the list of draft picks. You're young guys that if you were just normal on the PBR tour or off rodeoing, you'd be a little bit on your own trying to pick your way through how to ride bulls and how to travel. Now, all of a sudden, I'm looking at the team, the team series in general, big picture. All of a sudden, 18-year-old guys who have all this potential have somebody helping them and pointing them the right way and correcting things and working up with this up here. Big picture teams. It really is making guys better, isn't it?
For sure. Like I looked at a lot of riders that were 18, 19 when they got drafted, and them guys just, they did super good. And like you look at Casio, he started with the team series, and Guilherme helped him, and JW helped him, and then the individual season comes around, and he's an animal. That guy's amazing. Like I feel like the team deal and having all those teammates and the coaches around you, like I feel that's good. I feel like that's going to help me a lot. It should help a lot of other riders. You just got. I feel like you just got to have an open mind to learn from all your teammates and all your coaches, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be. You shouldn't improve.
Why do you think it took in all your 18-year-old wisdom here, why do you think it took a whole organizational team series to push. Why aren't bull riders more open to, and cowboys in general, more open to go get coaching somewhere? They just want to work it out themselves. They get a little help here and there, but every other sport, from golf to tennis to everywhere, they hire coaches to help them. Why not cowboys as much? Or is it done more than maybe I'm giving credit for?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still new to all of it, and I feel like reaching out for help isn't a bad thing. I think, like, I grew up with a dad that was kind of like an old school cowboy, and I can see the cowboy way is trying to do it on your own and stuff. But I don't know. I really don't know why a lot of those guys were just kind of, they weren't open minded about it, and they didn't. I guess they just didn't see how much it could help them with having people helping you. And like a lot of these teams have people that are working on them for rehab and your body and keeping you healthy. I don't know why a lot of guys wouldn't take that. And I grew up playing sports, so I feel like this is going to be awesome. This is always what I've wanted to do. Like I always wanted to be a football player and get drafted. So now getting drafted and having a team is like a dream come true.
Okay. You're a sport. See, I was a sports guy more than a rodeo guy, way more. Ask my family. Was football your sport? What'd you play when you were young?
I like baseball a lot. I didn't play it for a long time, but I played it through like middle school, and I wasn't the best, but I just liked it. I don't know why I enjoyed it. Having teammates and like getting out of school to get on the bus and go to a baseball game was just a good time. It was like traveling with your buddies. That was the fun of it. And then you got to play. So it was, I don't know, it was just a good feeling, like getting on with your buddy and then being competitive about it. Like I'm super competitive about stuff. So getting on a bus to try and go win, it was like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Bus rides. I still, to this day, like we had the PBR bus shuttles last year when we'd all get on. I just love bus rides. I coached after I played, and going to track meets and football games, bus rides with a team. I just think it's the bet. That's like the most valuable memories I have. We're with your team on a bus ride. They're the best.
Same here. Like I can't remember really a lot of things I did throughout middle school, but I do remember. So my school was really small, so we had a short bus because we didn't have a lot of players. So I remember hopping on a short bus with me and all my buddies going to a baseball game, and we weren't the best. And I just remember like we thought we were going to go win, and then we climbed back on that bus with an absolute butt whooping, and we go right back to doing it next week. But that was the joy of it. Like there was nothing better than getting out of class and with your jersey on, because during game day, we'd have our jerseys on, and we're like, yeah, I'm part of the baseball team. I'm getting out of it. So we'd hop on that short bus and just, stop at the gas station and go to the baseball game. That was like the best thing yet. That was the best part of middle school.
Hey, with your new team, you guys are, you're the New York Mavericks based in Brooklyn. That's where the team is based. That's where the team ownership is based. Obviously, you're not all going to move to Brooklyn, New York and practice out of Brooklyn, New York. Do you guys have a team facility with your coach, Cody Lostro? Where are you guys practicing? What is the plan to become a team and get better? What's going on there?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't heard anything yet so far. I'm just kind of sitting here waiting on still a lot of the answers, but it would be pretty cool if we got, placed in Brooklyn to practice in, but that wouldn't be our style. But I'm sure we're going to have some sort of practice pen or something, for guys, and that'd be pretty cool if we did.
Yeah. We talked about your injury, and I should have followed up with this, but I am now. I heard a rumor, you had your broken leg, which happened in April. I heard talk that maybe you're going to make it back and be healthy sooner than what maybe was initially thought in the diagnosis. What are we looking at from right now, Marco, on when you might be able to get back?
There's really not an exact timing of it, but I hope another 2.5, 3 months from now, maybe less. Just because I went to physical therapy and I've been talking to, people that know about it, and it seems like I've been moving around good, and like physical therapy is going super great. I'm improving a lot every day, taking it serious, and I've been on it. I haven't really been slacking. It's one thing that I've made a priority is to get my leg better. So I'm ready to be back. I hate sitting in the sidelines. So I've been really taking good care of it. And it seems like it's going a little bit better than, some people with broken legs. And it's going a little bit faster, it seems like.
Both bones? You broke it was like that, wasn't it? Did you broke yeah, both of them?
Yes, sir. I broke my tibia and fibia, snapped them right in half. So they were both broke.
Did it oh god, I
No
can't believe.
good.
Did
It was nasty.
did it come out? Did it come out of the skin? Was it a compost? Was it
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was. I didn't. I didn't even look at it. I was scared. I was going to look like I was calm the whole time, but I was scared I was going to look at it and like throw up or something. And I know that the doctors wouldn't want that, so I was like, I'm gonna just lay my head back and look at the ceiling the whole
oh,
time.
I had to
But now
ask.
I wish I would have looked at it just so I
Yeah,
could have seen it.
right? Takes
I should.
taken like with your leg like that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that was the good part. That was the cool part. Was like everybody's wishing me good luck right before the PBR and whatnot. And next, I Snapchat my buddies, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm, getting ready to go out and get on." And then my next Snapchat was me laying in a hospital bed, and everybody's like, "Oh, it looks like it didn't go too well." And I'm like, "No, it didn't go well at all."
Modern,
But
modern social media, man, it's ruined us.
yes, sir. I got some people good. Like I remember I Snapchat some people, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm on my way to the hospital." And then like I didn't text them back or nothing until like after surgery the next day. And everybody's like texting me like, "Hey, is Marco alive?" And I'm like, "I'm alive. I just broke my leg. Like just because I didn't answer you, doesn't mean I died." But no, I was like, and some people I acted like it was bad. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going." They say I need surgery, and then I wouldn't say nothing else. I'd text them the next day, and some people were freaking out. I kind of feel bad now, but I got some people good.
I hope I make it out of here. If this is it, this is
Yeah, that's how it was. People were
uh,
like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "I don't know. Doctor says I'll be all right. Hopefully, just keep praying. I might see you on the other side." And they're like, "Oh my god!" Like, come
uh,
on, people. It's not that bad.
what a dick.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
that's funny. Speaking of social media and stuff, and I told you earlier, I haven't had a lot of young guys on, and because I like to be able to visit, and this stuff's important, and I think you understand how important doing stuff like this. You got John and Clay and you, and I keep talking about you three because we talked about you three. Media, social media, the ability to do an interview, the ability to talk for 40 minutes on a podcast with somebody that's older than your dad. That's important. And I get the impression that you understand, hey, this can make you money. Being able to do what you're doing right now, you know how valuable it is, right?
Oh yeah, yes, sir. I mean, I realized it because there's nowadays like that's what everybody uses is social media, and I couldn't. There's guys out there that don't ride near as good as a lot of people like, and they're making money off TikToks and stuff, and they're like
Yeah.
2 jump jimmies. Like they couldn't stay on a stick horse, but the 2 pictures they get are super cool, and the slow mo video they get of them nodding their heads is like makes them seem like, oh my God, these guys are great at what they do. And I started like thinking about it. I was like, if these guys are staying on 2 jumps and I'm kind of hanging on and they got fans and I'm like, now I'm going to, showing up on CBS a little bit, like I could kind of do something with my social media. Like that's why I started making a little bit of TikToks. I'm not like a TikTok, superstar or anything, but I did take it a little bit more serious now because everybody uses social media. It's never, hey, did you see this on the news? Now it's always, hey, did you see this on TikTok? So I realized, I kind of realized like social media is a big part of it, and a lot of the newer fans that are our age, that's all they use nowadays is TikTok and Instagram and all that. So I started really kind of throwing some rides together and posting it and stuff, and it's helped me a lot.
Well, I'll give you a little advice. Your big personality and your energy you bring has done as much for you as your ride. From our side of it, from the other side, the production side, it was cool to see the little sticky note that Chris Pantani had that came from the movie Draft Day. What did it say? It was always Marco Rizzo.
Yeah, Marco Rizzo, no matter what.
No matter
that was
what.
pretty cool. I got it sitting. Yes, sir. I got it sitting in my Bible right now in my room. So every time I open it, I just kind of look at it, and that meant a lot to me. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, I've told my daughters, who are older than you, by the way, their mom and I used to say, you can be as successful as you want, but what people will remember is how you treat them and how you treat them outside of the arena. And I think by talking to your parents, you grasp that pretty good. It feels like they kind of taught you the same thing. Am I right?
Yes, sir, for sure. I was once a little kid that looked up to a lot of guys, and I don't like in Hollywood. I don't remember any ride there, but one thing I do remember is like you talking to me, and I remember JRV Jean Ricardo won the event, and I just remember being super little, and when I went to go ask him questions, he was super nice, and he had a check of $250,000 in his hand, but. I don't remember him riding. I don't remember anything he did that night. But one thing I do remember is him talking to me like I was his friend, and that kind of like stuck with me, and I felt like it meant a lot. I can't tell you how many bulls Guilherme stayed on, or I can't name off every ride, but when I was little, he always treated me real good, and that's what I like in people. Is when they're just good people. Good people are, I'll remember them forever.
Yeah. Well, you're good people, Marco. You're good people.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, I'll make you a deal. Heal up pretty fast. Okay. Not too fast, get healed up. And then let's, get the red and blue of the Mavericks on and show them how an 18-year-old kid does it. That's right. And I appreciate this.
Yes, sir.
I mean it. Keep up this good work, and then get your good work going in the arena. You'll have it made, my friend.
Yes, sir, for sure. We're working hard to get better every day. So hopefully soon I'll be back at it.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you did this. Thanks for doing it.
Yes, sir. I thank you. I appreciate it, Flint.
I'll get you another fan of the night buckle somewhere.
Yeah, maybe when I retire. I got one before I started riding. Maybe I'll get one after I'm done riding.
Never know. Never know. Thanks, buddy.
You never know.
Thanks,
sir.
man. Thanks, man.